So why did Hadi Choopan lose his title at the 2023 Mr. Olympia event? Of course, placing second to Derek Lunsford. I did a comparison between he and Derek, and it was close in my opinion. Personally, would have given it to Hadi Choopan, but so very close that I wouldn't complain if it went either way. So hard to find an answer there. I figured if we set up this comparison between the Olympia winning version of Hadi Choopan and this year's, we might find some differences that we didn't pick up on. Now, the first thing I did notice is Hadi does look bigger and he looks more separated. His chest muscles, delts, things of that nature. He looks bigger and he looks better. Let's just face it. Now, there is a couple of possibilities here. The delts, Jimmy rigged, wink wink, things of that nature. Not saying, just saying it's a possibility. Also, I noticed there's a little love handle area there. I noticed there was some thickness from this year that he didn't have. But is that a reason to take the guy's title away from him? He does look bigger. Let's go through these shots, guys. And unfortunately, we don't have the finals for every pose. There is a couple of poses from this year, from the finals. And that would have been the real test. Looks like his vacuum pose is more prevalent. He's hitting it. He's hitting the vacuum, I think, more often. His arms, guys, look at the arms. Look at his right bicep. Looks a lot smaller than it did last year. Tricep as well. Something like what happened to Big Ramy is his arms kind of faded away. Now his right arm was smaller than his left arm last year, but about the same. This year seems to be a little bit worse. A little bit worse. Now here's the finals. It's a shame, because this would have been the test. Now his left arm looks huge this year here. Looks separated too. So it could be better for the finals. But like I said, it's definitely difficult to say. They put smoke rolling in there, guys. Is there any way they could make the lighting worse? Now last year, here in the finals, where you could actually see him, he was better than he was at the prejudging. For sure, absolutely. So that may be another possibility, that he just was not as sharp at the finals. Here's the front lat spread. And this is what I noticed from the front relaxed position. He looked like he is. You can see the muscle fibers. A little bit better in the chest, delts, things of that nature, arms. I mean, he looks good. He looks pretty good. And his legs actually look a little bit bigger, I think. I think he looks bigger in the wheels. Now, delts, is that far delt? The left delt? Is that any different than it was last year? You can see the front of the delt looks a little bit more separated from shoulder to chest. Big man's chest. Wow, does his chest look a lot bigger. But yeah, I'm not going to point the finger to sight enhancements. There's a lot of buzz going on right now about Derek Lunsford and sights. Here's the side, and here's where I noticed it. The delt looked a little bit square. Is it how he's holding it? He's posing different. Sizing's hard when he's posing at a different angle. Now look at the delt closest to us. Something going on there this year. No, I don't know. I'm not saying, guys. Some of you guys are much more experts on that stuff than I am. And if you can ignore the delts for 1 second. But honestly, guys, that could have been a deciding factor. If the judges are seeing some Jimmy rigged operations. His wheels do look better, a little bit better last year, I think. A little more separated. Side tricep is a complete write-off. I don't even know why I have this picture of last year's side tricep. I mean, if you were standing next to a person using the same footage, maybe you could make a little bit of a decision on it. But here, not gonna do it. I do not like the way he is hitting it this year. Now, take it for what it is. That could have been a reason why he lost the side tricep. He had the best midsection out of the top three, that's for sure. Here's the true test. The back. Is the condition the reason? This is unfortunately the prejudging only. We have somewhat of a kind of a rear double by for the finals, so we'll take one quick look at that. But prejudging, he looks about the same condition, and his back looks thicker. He looks like he improved. Calves look even a little bit bigger, I think. So Hadi Choopan, maybe slightly more dialed in the glutes and the hamstrings last year, but the lighting sucks, I think, even worse this year. Even worse than it was last year. So close, I would say, in the rear lat spread. And keep in mind, he did improve, I would wager to say, for sure, in the lats, the lower lat thickness. Absolutely. Maybe wider last year, overall. Rear double by. On the video, watching the video footage, I was not that impressed with the rear double. But looking at the comparison from this year to last year, about the same, I think. The lats themselves, a little bit thicker, actually, this year, to be honest with you. Glutes, hamstrings, like the rear lat, this is Hadi Choopan. This is the type of condition that he usually brings, which is good enough to win the show. Calves. I think this guy was working on his calves. These shots here are usually exposing to some jimmy rigging. Could you guys see any jimmy rigging? Actually, his delts look freakier and peakier last year. But I'm not saying that. Now here's that one and only shot. No, I won't continue. The only shot of the finals. Now, I'm not going to get greasy here. I don't want to get oily, so to speak. But yeah, last year he looks like he has some funkiness going on in his delt. But I'm no expert in that. Condition-wise, he is better last year in the finals than he was in the prejudging. This could be your answer. Take a close gander at his glutes. He's hard and grainy in the hamstrings, but his glutes do not look as tight as they were in the prejudging. So he was better last year, finals, not as tight this year for the finals. That could be your answer. So it could be one of three things, guys. Your condition, your jimmy rigging, could have been some jimmy rigging, and here's the abs and thigh, and one more thing that it could have been. You notice some, like I mentioned earlier, the love handles, the little area there. Last year, he was very slender. This year, it looks like he's 3, 4, maybe 5 more notches on his belt. Now, of course, he is bigger in the legs. Look at that. You can see that for sure. He's been working on those quads. Legs are improved. A couple of things are improved. His arms, I think, from this angle anyway. Front double wouldn't reflect that, but having said that, he has some love handle issues. Considering that was already kind of a weak point going in battle with Derek Lunsford, who doesn't even have a waistline. Yeah, it's another possibility. Most Muscular wasn't hitting it this way. Or he wasn't hitting the hands clasped in the prejudging last year. But he is ripped to shreds. Actually, even better this year, I think, this Most Muscular. I think this is the very best of Hadi Choopan that we've seen in a couple of shots. I think absolutely. And here's the finals. So you're going to take the glutes, hamstrings out of the situation for the finals. He actually does look bigger and better this year. Look at the ripped striations of the chest. The chestal region. Wow. That's unbelievable. And delts actually look quite a bit bigger too. With no, I'm not saying there's jimmy rigging in there at all. I'm just saying they look bigger and better. So the guy looks like he has improved 100% in the finals until you look at the back, and I would wager to say, no, I don't think he did. I think he was a little bit softer from the back compared to the prejudging. So is it, what's my ultimate response? Do I think Hadi Choopan was robbed? I seen that littered all over the place. Robbed. No, he wasn't robbed. And if he lost last year, he wouldn't have been robbed either. And if he won this year, Derek wouldn't have been robbed. When it's that close, it's not a robbery. I don't think. But, I mean, you guys use your own terminology. I'm not here to tell you what terminology to use. I think it was a close competition. And if it was that close, could there be a fourth culprit? The P word. The P word. Not peas, fresh garden peas. They're good. But politics. Could politics have played a part? I seen that word also littered all over the comment section below. Hit thumbs up on the video, guys. Let me know. Hadi Choopan, was he better this year, last year? What was different? Was it just the love handles? The finals, he was a little softer, and maybe some pointy delts in the side chest? Was that it? I think he was bigger. I think he was more ripped in the chest, things of that nature. Have a great one, guys.